Back here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym on the campus of Georgetown College. We're getting ready for the men here about 7.5 minutes from now, but we joined by the women's head coach, Jeff Nickel, who got win 250 back on Thursday night. Let's make it 251.
251 today, yeah. It was an interesting game, a little back and forth for us. Early on, I thought we were a little sloppy at times and, missed some early shots, but I think we were able to get out and start establish our transition game, second, third, fourth quarter, and we were able to, really prevail there. I thought our advantage on the glass did a lot for us. Rebounding, we were able to attack, get to the line. I thought we showed our aggressive there, and that's a lot better. I thought that Tennessee swing was hard for us because, we had Bethel, Freed, and Cumberland's. We think we averaged 11 free throws a game, and that's tough as much as a team like us attacks. So it was good to get those transition buckets, get those points back on the free throw line, and to really kind of establish ourselves that way.
Well, I don't know how you are as a head coach. I could probably assume, but I know what happens when we do those things, and you don't get in the coach's head. But the one stat I look at all the time is how your team shares the basketball. You have 16 assists on 23 made field goals. To me, that means that's team basketball, and that's what this game of basketball is all about. Yeah,
I thought we had good balance. We moved the ball. One of our goals, we want to be +6 tonight. We were +5, and that was pretty close. If your assist-to-turnover ratio is positive, it's going to mean really good things for you, and I think we were able to do that. So, I was really happy with that, proud of the girls. We fought tough. Erin had an off game tonight, didn't really get herself going, got in some foul trouble, and, just never really got herself into a good feel. And, she's been on quite a tear last 3 or 4 games. So, she was a little off, and I thought we had other guys step up. I thought Izzy, Jalen, Madison all had really good games, rebounded the ball well for us. Madison with 12 and 13. I thought Lisa Soljamani and A.J. Stevenson stepped up really big for us off the bench. A.J. gave us 28 minutes tonight and did a good job defensively, had 3 rebounds, which is honestly quite a bit for her. She hasn't been really a great rebounding guard, and that's something we've been asking her to do, and she did it. A.J.'s a good kid, works really hard, and it's good to see her go there and get and earn time like that.
Yeah, and I thought really for the most part, Madison Darnell looked like to me drew the assignment early on Freeman, and really got into her head and really not only that but got her in some foul trouble from some silly fouls.
Yeah,
and that was their leading scorer, and you could tell they were searching for somebody to pick up the slack.
Freeman hadn't played. Freeman didn't play on Thursday. She drove up to the game today.
Oh boy.
I guess she had some nursing exam or something like that. She wasn't available. And she's had a stress fracture, I think, in her foot, something like that. And, she hasn't really been available a lot of them. She's only played maybe once or twice, this year in 23.
Yeah.
So coming out here, we kind of thought in the back of our mind, like, is she going to play? Is she not going to play? And so we prepared that she would play. And you're right. Madison did a nice job on her. Madison's got a lot of experience, and she's starting to get championship experience, getting where she has to play at a championship level. And although we've stacked a few losses this year, we've been in a lot of tight games.
Right.
And she played in a lot of big ones last year, so that's bode really, really well for her.
Yeah, and now you go to 11-9 in the conference.
Yep.
You're chasing Freed Harmon, who's right above you. They've got a tough one today. They're going to be at Thomas More later on this afternoon, so that'll give you a little chance to get even with them, but also build some momentum down the road because you know that you got to chase them to get to that 5th seed.
Yeah, and for us right now, I'm not so much worried about the seed right now as I am how we're playing.
Right.
And the eye test to me, I think we've been playing pretty good basketball late. Even though today wasn't as clean as what I was like, it was still what I wanted to see from a style standpoint, how we guarded, how we rebounded, the transition game, moving and sharing the ball. And my teams have always kind of done that. We've always played real well down the stretch, got ready for conference tournament, and playing our best when we go to nationals, and that's what we're trying to do right now. So, in a way, the conference seed is going to be the conference seed. I'm not real concerned about who we play. I think we can play with anybody in this league.
Yes.
I think we've shown that. I think we can play with anybody in the country. But, what we've got to do is we've got to earn the right, to go to the national tournament.
Right.
And, we've got to compete and put ourselves in position to win a conference tournament. And, that's what we're really going to try to focus on right here. I think we got a great group of kids. I think we're playing really well down the stretch, and so I'm excited to see how we finish.
Well, forgive me, Coach. That's me being a fan and a broadcaster pointing out because I've had people ask me, is this program progressing? From what I've seen early on, this is my first year back. I have seen this man to my left coach on numerous occasions on the other sideline of us. But But and I see that progression happening. I came to a couple games last year as a fan, got to watch,
Yep.
and I see a progression. And it'll be there sooner or later. But this right now is the year that I think a lot of people are looking for a deeper run in the postseason if you can get there.
Yeah, and I think we can. I think we can get to Sioux City. It depends on draw and how you play and all that kind of stuff. But, national tournament's all about matchups.
Right.
And, we got to put ourselves in position there first. Got a great Campbellsville team. We played really close here. It's a 1-2 possession game with a minute to go. We got to go down and play them on their senior night on Thursday. Then we got a really tough, well-coached Lindsey Wilson group coming in here on Saturday. So we got a little bit of business before that, and looks like we'll be playing a play-in game here against somebody on that following Monday.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 games where we get in the conference tournament, or 2 games where we get in the conference tournament and then play a play-in game. But, I think we got a chance to play with anybody right now, and we'll see where we get to.
Well, I will agree, and I will tell you, I would not want to face this Tiger team because all players that saw action put a point on the board.
Yeah, and I think we got a shot. We can win the whole conference tournament. I really think we can. I like our group. Like where we're at, and we came a long way from 3 wins. We really have. So these a lot of hard work for these kids. They really want it, and I'm proud of them.
Well, Coach, congratulations
Thank you.
again. We'll
Appreciate
see you
it.
next Saturday when Lindsey Wilson comes calling.
All right, take care.
Good
Thanks.
luck on Thursday. Jeff Nickel, the head coach for the women's Tigers team, and tell you what, he is really excited about where his team is headed, especially down the stretch here in the conference season. Men are getting ready to get it underway here in just a moment. We'll have the starting lineups as well as the tip-off of tonight's game between Georgetown and Cumberland University on the Tiger Sports Network. We'll be back with that. Getting ready for the men's side of things. We'll try to keep you updated on some of those games across the men's conference situation. We'll give you that breakdown here in just a minute. But again, I echo the sentiments of Jeff Nickel. They are headed in the right direction and trending upward are the Lady Tigers of Georgetown. Got a tough one on Thursday night. If Georgetown can go down and knock off the third-ranked team in the country, that will help with confidence level with this team. Again, games going on, coming up here in about an hour or so. It's Bethel will be at Wilberforce up in Ohio. As we get the starting lineups, Tyreek Johnson, 6'6" junior out of Chester, Pennsylvania. Mount Pleasant High School, 11.2 points per ball game. We have Jalen Negron, 6'2" junior out of Clarksville, Tennessee, 8.6 points per ball game. Along with Isaac Stevens, a 6'7" senior out of Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Tyler Bird, 6'4" redshirt senior out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, 8 points per ball game. And Jordan Stevens, a 6'3" senior out of Macon, Georgia, averaging 16.5 a game, leading the Phoenix in scoring. For Georgetown is Cam Brooks Harris out of Zanesville, Ohio, 12.1 points a game. Jacob Omer, a 6'1" senior out of Taylor Mill, Kentucky, averaging 16.5 to lead the Tigers. We get Jaquay Wells, a 5'11" junior out of Louisville, Kentucky, 7.4 points per ball game. We get a 6'5" freshman Tay Dozier out of Louisville, averaging 9.8. And we're going to get another young man out of Louisville. The human pogo stick, Rashad Bishop, 6'7" freshman, averaging 8.2 points per ball game. And he had a couple of dunks the other night, a windmill dunk on a breakaway that was pretty impressive. The lob dunk from Jake Homer was impressive. There was one that he missed that I didn't think he was going to get to. I thought they threw it too high, and he went to another level and was unable to finish, but got fouled on the play. Again for Cumberland and Jeremy Lewis, who moved over from the women's side some 5 or 6 years ago to move to the head coaching job for the men. It is Bird, Stevens, Johnson, along with Negrin and Jordan Stevens. No relation to Isaac. It'll be Bishop. And the ball tipped again by Isaac Stevens into the hands of Tariq Johnson. And here will be Negrin running the point. The 6'2 junior. They give it on to the right block to Stevens. Back it comes. Here's three on the way. Looks right, is right. And Stevens knocked it out of the hands of Bishop into the hands of Tyler Bird. And it's 2-0 Phoenix to start it. One thing a Jeremy Lewis team that you'll see and remember is they are very physical in the paint. Here's Bishop, 15-footer, right side, no good. Rebound into the hands of Johnson. Here come the Phoenix. They will run, but they will run a lot of half-court offense. This is Stevens to Bird, now back to Negrin. Negrin, 17-footer, right elbow, back rim, no. Omer claims the rebound for Georgetown. Dozier on the right side, back, skips it. Here's a three from Dozier, good. Tay Dozier faked the handoff, got himself some room and knocked down the triple, and it's 3-2 Tigers. This is Stevens, around to Johnson. He'll let three fly from Georgetown bench, good, the lefty. Three for Johnson. It's 5-3 Phoenix. A minute half in. This is Wells. Gets a screen from Bishop. Around to Cam Brooks Harris. Now to Dozier. Here's Omer. He lets three go left wing. Back rim, no. And a foul coming up on Jake Omer. The first foul of the ball game goes on the Tigers senior. Shot he let go from the left wing looked good when it left his hand. Phoenix with a basketball, leading 5-3. A little less than 2 minutes in. Here's Negron. Back to Stevens. Bird will flash. Now down to Negron. Got it blocked. It goes off the hands of Stevens. And back to Georgetown. I think it was Jacquay Wells who got a hand on the shot by Negrin. And they hit Stevens, his teammate underneath, and went out of bounds. Phoenix come up empty, and here come the Tigers. And a whistle, and we have a foul away from the ball. It is on number 1. Tariq Johnson, his first, the team first on the Phoenix. Phoenix come in averaging 78.8 points a game. They lob it into Bishop, knocked away. Dozier chases down with Johnson. He'll win the race, and here's a dunk and a foul. And he just kind of hangs around on the rim and then wraps his legs around the neck of CBH. I understand Brooks Harris was underneath him, but he just wrapped that right leg around the neck of Brooks Harris and pulled himself to it. And now they're jawing at each other again. Bird telling him I was only trying to hang on, but I don't think Cam took exception to the dunk and him hanging on the rim. I think it was the fact that he wrapped that right leg around the neck of Harris. That was the exception. It's 7-3 Phoenix. And at the line will be Bird to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. And cannot. Rebounded by Dozier. Bird is a 71% foul shooter, so pretty good from the stripe. Here goes Bishop. And a charging foul on Bishop, his first. Team second. Tigers making a concerted effort to get the ball in the lane against Cumberland. An offensive foul on the turnover for Georgetown. And the Phoenix with a 4-point lead in the basketball. 2 minutes, 40 seconds in. This is Johnson. Back it comes to Negrin. Left wing three for Bird. No good. Rebounded out of the hands of Stevens into the hands of Omer. Omer ahead to Wells, who tried to save it back in, and the Tigers with an unforced turnover, their third unforced turnover of the first half. Tigers want to run and want to get Cumberland in an up-tempo game if they can get them there. Here's Johnson to Stevens. Negrin here on the right side, guarded by Omer. Stevens down the lane in the corner to Bird. Back to Johnson. Three from the left wing. Got it. 10-3 Cumberland. And 2 threes by Johnson. He has 6. Here's CBH. Down the lane, taken away by Stevens, headed the other direction. Nice challenge by Wells, but Bird will tip it in. He has 6, and it's 12-3 Cumberland. Timeout, Chris Briggs in Georgetown. The Phoenix come in unafraid here at Davis Reed Alumni. Quick 30-second timeout from Coach Chris Briggs to get his team a little bit more organized. But I tell you what, Cumberland, not your typical Jeremy Lewis team that you expect. They were more of a half-court, let's get physical, beat and bang around in the lane type of team. They are out and running against the Tigers here in the first half. They go down to Bishop, who laid it in. It danced all around but stayed. First 2 of the game for Bishop, 12-5 Phoenix. This is Negrin as they fake a double team. Now go to Bird on the left side. Here's Johnson. He'll put it on the floor. Goes in on Dozier. Blocked by Bishop. And it goes out of bounds back to Cumberland. Georgetown trailing by 7 with 15:49 to play in the first half. This is Stevens. Gives it to Negrin. Step back 17-footer straight away. Perfect. Negron with his first 2, and it's 14-5. Tigers down 9. Here's Wells. To Brooks Harris. Left block, it goes to Bishop. Bishop blocked by Stevens, and he got him on the wrist. Got a lot of ball, but they're going to call him on the wrist there. His first. That's the first on Stevens, the second on Cumberland. And at the line will be Rashad Bishop for 2 shots. Bishop only a 54% foul shooter, though. And the first one good from Bishop. Draws Georgetown within 8. 15:21 to play in the first half of action here. Second shot is good for Georgetown's Rashad Bishop. He has 4. And Cumberland doubling up the Tigers now, right now, 14-7. Straight away to Stevens. Gives it to the other Stevens, driving, baseline, going to charge. Yep, threw that right arm out. They're going to call him for a foul. No argument from Jordan Stevens. That's his first, team's third. Good job by Wells of getting in position there, moving his feet. Here comes the Tigers, down 7. Lob to Cam Brooks Harris for the jam. On the assist from Wells. 14-9 with 14:47 to play. Here's Stevens straight away, guarded by Bishop. Gives it off to Jordan Stevens steps through, 12-footer, back rim no, goes and tries to get it, but Bishop claims the rebound. Here come the Tigers running. Dozier down the lane, all the way to the rim, laid it in. Dozier with 5, and Jeremy Lewis says timeout. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Glad you're with us here this afternoon from Georgetown. Have a special group of ceremony taking place here after the first half is concluded. It'll be halftime. We'll be recognizing a couple of, or not a couple, but a few historical teams in Georgetown College men's basketball history. Tigers, very deep in history. They are the all-time winningest NAIA basketball program for men. Wonderful time with that, and 3 national championships on their resume, a couple of runner-ups. And here come the Phoenix now. That lead is 3. It was 9. This is Johnson down the lane. Somehow got it back, lost it as he threw it up with the right hand. Here's CBH. Hesitates. Works to the glass. Laid it in. It's down to 1. 14-13. Tigers trail by a point. Bird with a pretty good solid screen on Omer. Into the game is Tajah Fraley, 6'4", redshirt junior. Here's 3 for Bird. Good. Bird with 9. They have hit 3 3-pointers already here in the first 20 minutes of action. They lead 17-13. Georgetown has hit 1. But Bird has 9. He is leading. He has 8-point average. This is the foul on Fraley. Taj Fraley out of Atlanta, 6'4", redshirt junior, is Omer. I believe out of the 15 guys on the roster, 8 are transfers. Wells, a deep 3 right side. Front rim, no. Rebounded by Johnson. Jacque has to hit a couple to help out Omer and the rest of the guys. Bird working on Wells. Double team down. They swing it around. Here is Negrin. Now to Johnson on the right side. Pulls up right of the elbow. No good. Wells with a rebound. Here come the Tigers. Wells around to Brooks Harris. He drives baseline. Cut off. Step back. 18-footer. Hit the side of the rack and went in. Hit the top of the backboard on the side and skimmed through. 17-16. They go down low to Nasir Coleman, who's in the lineup, puts it up with a jump hook. Good. Coleman, 6'6", senior out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And with President's Day coming up here in a week and a half, he went to Abraham Lincoln High School there in Philadelphia. Here's Omer. Omer puts it on the floor. Floater from 10, too strong. Rebounded by Johnson. 12.5 to play. 4-point Phoenix lead. Negrin gets it back out as he circles, gives to Coleman, who gives it back to him. They go down off the block to Bird over Wales. Shot way too strong. Shot it on the glass, too strong. Bird flopped. Here's a steal by Fraley, a bad pass. They give it to Bird. To Negrin. Laid it up and in, a foul on Dozier. A nice little answer from Cumberland to now lead 21-15. Georgetown got a little careless with a pass here. And Negrin has 4. He'll be trying to finalize the back end of a 3-point opportunity as Dozier and Bishop go to the bench. Johnson and Lamont in. We mentioned in the pregame that Kyron Jones unavailable today. In street closed out the end of the Georgetown College bench. Tweaked, we think, his right knee back on Thursday night as Negrin misses the free throw. Negrin, a 75% foul shooter as Omer May have gotten away with a discard with the left arm. Here's Lamont. Now to Johnson. Short corner goes to Lamont on the left baseline. He'll back down on Johnson. Turns. Left-hand layup. Too strong. Rebounded by Johnson. Letting a lot go with the hand checks on both ends from both sides. Here's a charge on Johnson, or Stevens. Jordan Stevens, that's 2 on Jordan. That'll be the the 5th team foul on Cumberland. We have a TV time, or a media timeout here with 11:35 to play in the opening 20 minutes. It's Cumberland 21, Georgetown 15. Tigers trail here 21-15 with 11:35 to play before halftime. Same score in Campbellsville. The Tigers lead over U-Pike by that same score. They're halfway through half number 1. Other game that should be underway by right now is Bethel at Wilberforce. And we'll give you the Freed Hardman Thomas More game a little later on. Freed Hardman 22, Thomas More is 16. Omer will bring it up against Fraley. This is Lamont on Stevens. They lob back door to Cam Harris, shot it over the rim. I don't know if he was trying to shoot it straight in or go ahead and put it in off the glass. Coach Chris Briggs wanted to push. I think somebody got up underneath CBH. This is Coleman to Fraley. Fraley on the run, throws it up, no good. Johnson had it. Fraley knocked it away from him, and they have a fresh 20. Here is Johnson to Negrin. Now to Coleman, who works on and then throws a bullet pass. It'll stay with Cumberland with 9 to shoot. I mean, he threw heat. If it hadn't been deflected by a Georgetown player, may have taken Johnson's nose back to the back of his head. Here's Johnson who lays it in. He has 8. 23-15, Tigers trail by 8. Here's Wales. Loses the dribble, now has to go get it. Gives it back to Johnson. They'll set the offense with 14 to shoot. Wales pulls up, 18-footer. No, back rim, rebounded by Stevens for Cumberland. Cumberland will come looking for a double-digit lead as Tommy Thomas will await his first entry in today's game at the scores table. Negrin to Coleman, looking down low to Stevens. He got it to him, laid it up and in. Isaac Stevens with his first 2, and it's 25-15. Tigers trail by 10. This is Omer down the lane. Put up left hand, count it, and a foul on Johnson. Second foul on Johnson. He becomes the second Phoenix with 2 fouls here in the first 10 minutes plus. Thomas will come in replacing Brooks Harris. Omer with his first basket of the day. Looking for a 3-point play and does. Jake has averaging 16 and a half a game. It's 25-18. Tigers trail here with 9:40 to go and the clock moving in the first half. Bird hits the deck, throws it. Oh, my. Says it went off a Georgetown player, but the trajectory never changed. As Georgetown on the loose ball. Bird may have gotten away with a walk when he fell down. But Georgetown came through. The crowd didn't agree with it here on the near side, but it's 17 seconds to shoot. Bird on the near side. Negrin with it now. Will angle off to the left side. Gives to Coleman. They go down low to Stevens. Again, he got position on Lamont and he laid it in. 4 for Lamont. Or excuse me, 4 for Coleman. Pardon me. 4 for Isaac Stevens now. It's a 9-point lead. Here's Wales. Here's Omer. Omer gets around Bird. That was a kick ball. They let it go, though. Bird headed the other direction. It's Negrin. Back to Fraley. Now to Negrin. Around to Coleman. Down low it goes to Stevens, who's got a mismatch on Thomas. Straight away Coleman, 18-footer. High arcer, no. Stevens claims the rebound. Left hand, no. Rebound tipped into the hands of Thomas. Here comes Johnson. 4 on 3. Lamont in the corner to Wells. Low pass. And Georgetown unable to take advantage of the numbers. 27-18. Thomas to Omer here. On the near side, guarded by Bird. Crosses over on Bird. Oh, wow. Late call from the official. May have been a good one, but I tell you what, just a hesitation a little bit. Omer called for the foul. That's the second on Omer. And the Tigers turn it over on the player control foul. Chris Briggs doesn't move. With Jake Omer on the floor with 2. Going to leave the senior in there. 27-18. Tigers down 9 as we approach the 8-minute mark of the first half. Coleman to Stevens. Here's Bird. Johnson guarding him. Dipped that shoulder, discarded a little bit, but no call. We play on as Johnson rebounds the miss by Bird. Here's Johnson working on Coleman. Around, step through, left-hand layup. No. Tipped up, no by Lamont. Rebounded by Stevens. Georgetown having a tough time knocking the ball down here. 7.5 to go. Chabrion Spikes coming in. Here's Negrin for 3. Got it. And it's a 12-point lead for Cumberland. Crowd quiet here. 7 for Negrin. Here's 3 for Thomas. No good. Wells claims the rebound backside. Put it up. Got hit on the wrist. No call. Johnson fights for it. Bird has it. Ahead to Stevens. Stevens throws it up over. Tell you what, he's going to try to spin, and Omer did a nice job of stopping. Omer goes 6'2". They actually listed him at 6'1". Stevens goes 6'7". He's asking to come out. He needs a breather. He's going to stay in right now. Jeremy Lewis looking for somebody to put in for him. It's a little tough. You don't want Stevens to pick up a second foul because of being tired. Under 7 to play. Georgetown with only 18 here in the first quarter. Here's Johnson for 3. No good. Coleman rebounds backside for Cumberland. And here come the Phoenix with that 12-point lead. Negrin back out to Fraley. Here's Coleman. Runs. And it's a foul on Coleman. Offensive foul, a turnover on Cumberland. Thought he had the corner turn, but a good job by Spikes to draw the charge. It was 6:35 to play. Georgetown coming into the offensive court trailing by 12, 30-18. That is the 7th team foul on the Phoenix. Into the ball game for the Phoenix is Mitrevius Vaughn, a 6'2" redshirt sophomore out of Nashville, wearing number 5 in black. And we have a held ball as Wells trying to get on Negrin, and they held ball. We'll give it back to the Tigers on the alternating possession with 18 to shoot. Inbounds to Wales. Down the right block, it goes to Lamont. Put up left hand, no good. Played through contact, no foul. We're headed the other way. Georgetown really shooting abysmal right now. Last time I think they shot this poorly was down at Freed-Hardman. This is Fraley. Negrin with the basketball. Goes on the left block. Ball tipped up in the air by Johnson. Gets in the hands of Vaughn, who lays it in, and the lead has grown to 14. Tigers got it down to 2. 14-13, and since then, it's been an 18-5 run for Cumberland. They look inside for Lamont, and a foul. That's a touchy on Fraley. See a lot more contact on both ends than you just saw there. And we get a media timeout. 5:32 to play in the first quarter. Georgetown needs some offense. They trail by 14 on the Tiger Sports Network. Georgetown in need of some offense here in the first half. They trail 32-18, to the Phoenix of Cumberland University. Cumberland shooting really well from the field here in the first half. Georgetown struggling. Had a lot of shots at the rim, just unable to find the bottom of the net. Coming up at halftime, we want to have you join us and stay tuned. Do not go anywhere at halftime. If you want, real quick, get you a bite to eat, get you something to drink, and stay tuned to halftime here when the Tigers are going to recognize some teams of history in the Georgetown College men's basketball illustrious history. Look across the way. I see Jason Woodard. I see Mark Tandy. I have seen I'll see Happy Osborne. Saw Vic Moses here. Keith Greiser, who's a former assistant coach here at Georgetown. Seen several guys. As the first shot by Lamont is good. And the senior misses the second. And that is tried to save by Fraley, and it goes back to Georgetown. So Georgetown has a chance to get this thing to double to 10 if they can hit a three here with 5.5 exactly to play. This is Wales off to Spikes. Spikes to Lamont in the corner to Wales. Wales had a shot and backed off of it. Down low to Lamont in the lane. Jump hook, good. Lamont with 3 now, and it's down to 11, 32-21, headed towards the 5-minute mark of the first half. Georgetown has trailed throughout, have never led, have the Tigers. Negrin with it. Back to Bird, who got the Phoenix off and running with 9 of the first 13. He hasn't scored since. It's been his teammates, though, that have picked up that. Here's Bird, a deep 3, left side, good, over Spikes. And Spikes had his hand in his face, and Bird doing some woofing as he walks or backpedals down the floor. It's back up to 14 now. Wells to Lamont. He'll let 3 go left side, in and out. Rebounded by Spikes. Here's Brooks Harris for 3, left side, good. Harris now with 9. Tigers back within 11. 35-24. Tigers need to pick it up here on the defensive end. This is Vaughn. Now to Fraley. Gets a screen from Bird. Now Negrin. He'll get a screen, and they slip it with Coleman. He pulls up 16-footer straight away. Bingo. Well, I tell you what, they have shot lights out here in the first half. That's 9 for Negrin now. 37-24. If you're Georgetown, you want to keep it around the 10-point mark heading into the halftime break. Spikes, throws it away. Fraley headed the other direction. They'll back it out. This is more like Jeremy Lewis's teams in the past. They don't have the numbers. They'll back it out, and they'll run some offense in the half court. Negrin working on Wells. Had the corner, but decides to pull up now to Bird. Bird, step back 15-footer. Yes, boy, I tell you what. I love to see what Cumberland is shooting from the floor here in the first half. 39-24, a 15-point Phoenix lead. This is Dozier. Step back three on the way. Back rim, no. One and done for the Tigers. And a foul on Wales. Tell you what, that's what drives me crazy about officiating in today's high school and college levels. They let a whole lot of contact in the lane go that could be tough. But then they come back and they call that one on Wales for just a slight tap on the wrist. Now, did he foul? Yes. That's the first on Wells. That's the sixth on Georgetown. And a 15-point lead, which will send shockwaves to the Mid-South Conference if this lead continues to grow. Here's three on the way, in and out, rebounded by Harris. Vaughn had a good look at an open three. They get ahead to Dozier. He'll hang, put it up, and a foul on Fraley. And that is three by my count on Taj Fraley. Dozier with 7 now. That is 3 on Fraley. Coach Lewis makes no move to get him out. So 3 on Fraley. 39-26, a 13-point Phoenix lead. Dozier in and out, rebounded by Coleman. Or Georgetown. Leaving some points. I only missed a couple of free throws, but you got to hit free throws if you're going to get back in this one right now. You're down 13 with 2:10 to play. Here's Bird. No good. Vaughn had it. Brooks Harris saves it back in. Coleman, Negrin for 3. No. Rebounded by Wells. Here comes Georgetown. Lamont around. Checks. Gives to Wells. Around to CBH. 3 on the way. Short. Rebounded by Coleman. Wow. Georgetown cannot buy a bucket right now. Struggling from the field. This is Fraley still in there with those 3, and Jeremy Lewis made no move to get somebody off the bench. Here's a block by Dozier. Somehow got a piece of a jump shot that he was nowhere near. Nice pass from Lamont to CBH, who missed it. Got up halfway up in the air, decided was he going to dunk it or lay it in, and he got caught in between and missed it. Coleman. Everybody backs away. He missed the shot and a foul on CBH. So Brooks Harris with his first. And at the line will be Coleman for 2 shots. He has 2 today, and Georgetown with 1:03 to play, looking a little frazzled as Bishop and Johnson get up off the Georgetown bench. And a wait to come back in as Coleman hits the first. He has 3. Coleman on the year is only a 57% foul shooter. But right now, Cumberland shooting on the year from the floor, 59%. But an overall 30%. They have shot well above that today in the first half. 41-26. This Georgetown crowd is stunned. A 15-point lead for Cumberland. Here's Lamont. to Bishop. You had all four of the players in the lane collapsed on Bishop and a foul on Negron. That's the first on Jalen. Negron with his first. And now Rashad Bishop, who has 4 points, he'll go back to the line for 2. He's had quite a while on the Georgetown bench. He hits the first, now gives him 5. But Georgetown really struggling to find some offense here with 52 seconds to play. They trail 41-27. But Cumberland has shot lights out in the first half. He misses the second, rebounded by Coleman. And Georgetown, right now the answer is not, well, it is offense, but it is also right here on the defensive end. And Wells put pressure Negron. Here's Vaughn to Bird. Bird spins, can't get free of Johnson. Good job by Seth to move his feet. Here's Bird, throws one up, in and out. Rebounded by Lamont. Shot clock off. Tigers, they try. That's not a good pass from Lamont through a deep. Here's Negron. And the Phoenix will get the last shot with 11 seconds to play. Negron using that off arm to ward off Quay. Here's a Negron shot, no good, and Bishop rebounds, and that'll be the end of the first half. An ugly first half for Georgetown offensively shooting the basketball. They trail at halftime, 41-27. A quick break, and we'll be back with our halftime festivities on the Georgetown Tigers Sports Network. We're at halftime here in Georgetown, where the host Tigers right now shooting miserably from the floor. And on the other side of things, the Phoenix of Cumberland University shooting lights out in the first half. I don't know what they've shot as I get the stats here currently. Georgetown shooting 30, it says shooting 38.5% from the floor in the first half, 10 of 26. 2 of 9 from behind the arc. They are being out-rebounded 21-17, so that's a concern. They have been out-rebounded on the offensive side of the glass of things, 5-2. I thought Cumberland was shooting outstanding from behind or from the field. They are shooting 44.7%, 45% on the afternoon this here in Davis Reed Alumni Gym. And folks, get this. They are 5 of 9 from behind the arc for 56%. This from a team that shoots 18% from behind the arc on the season. They shoot 56.5% from behind the arc. We are getting ready to recognize Tiger Championship Celebration as they honor teams from the past and their milestones, anniversaries, and their years. First, we're getting ready to recognize the 1958 team in honor of its 65th anniversary. Led by Hall of Fame head coach Bob Davis, the 1958 team finished the season with a 24-7 record and finished as the number 4 place team at the NAIA tournament. We know the members of that team are here with us in spirit today, if none are in attendance. The next one we're going to honor is the 30th anniversary of the 1993 Fab Four team that finished 27-9, led by Hall of Fame head coach Jim Reed, the late Jim Reed, a former player and coach here at Georgetown College. We're going to recognize the 30th anniversary of the 1993 team that finished in the Fab Four. Next up, the 25th anniversary of the 1998 NAIA National Championship team under the head coach guidance of Hall of Famer Happy Osborne. The 98 team finished the season with a record of 36-3 and defeated Southern Nazarene in the national championship game to claim Georgetown's first championship by a score of 83-69. There are some members there. Mark Tandy, the gentleman in the back right there with the bald head, the guy to the right in the green shirt with the blue vest. That's Jason Woodard. Trying to recognize some other guys as well on that team. Happy Osborne, the guy in the yellow sweater there as they go off the screen to your left. The next group that we'll be recognizing will be the 2003 Fab Four team, celebrating 20 years since the historic season. Once again, led by Happy Osborne, the 2003 Tigers finished the season 32-6 and reached the Fab Four in 2003, again under Coach Happy Osborne. Barry Bowman greeting Happy back out there, and Happy says, I got to walk out twice. Yes, sir. Keith Greiser there to the right. We only have 5 members here with this team this year. Then 2008, 15 years ago, another Happy Osborne-led team, and Happy might as well just stay out at center court here. Led the team to the 2008 NAI Final Four again. They finished the year with a 35-1. Were upset in the semifinals. 2008. And actually, I'm way ahead of these. That was at 38 national, or the 1998 team. This is the 2003 team now. George Baker in there, the highlight maker. Trying to see who else is in that group there. They're facing the other direction, so I, of course, can't see. George was the all-time assist leader until a couple years ago when L.J. Coward broke that record. Now we're going to get to the 2008 team. I was ahead of those guys. And Happy might as well just stay out there. We get Vic Moses. And the other guy can't get a really good look at it and tell who it is. But I tell you what, this team was a tremendous ball club. But I tell you what, 35-1, they said, guess what, folks? We're done with this. That's not Vic. Can't remember. It's not Vic. Vic is over here, though. I saw Vic here today. Now the 2013 National Championship team that finished 28-8. They are the second national championship team for Georgetown College. Chris Briggs led this ball club. It's the 10th year anniversary. Vic Moses was the NAIA Player of the Year. And I believe that is the Raging Bull. As well, the 2013 National Championships, they beat Sagu, and that game wasn't even close. It said 26. That was the closest there. And the fans will give you one final chance to recognize the history of Georgetown College, the NAIA's all-time winningest basketball program for the men, Georgetown College. And just a part of the rich history of David Shue, I see out there too, or Matt Shue, I should say, from Louisville on that floor as well. So that is a look at the history of this fine basketball program. And as you can tell, that's the reason why they are the all-time winningest program in NAIA history. Georgetown College, a lot of great guys that came through this program. Georgetown College men's basketball 2023 trailing here at halftime to the Phoenix of Cumberland University by a score of 41-27. We gave you the numbers at the break, and Cumberland jumped on Georgetown early, and they've not let up. Tigers having a tough time shooting the basketball. They credit them for 39% from the floor, but they have really struggled putting the ball in the basket. And then you have Cumberland, who is shooting 44.7%. They shoot 30% from the floor as a team on the year. The big stat, though, is the Phoenix shooting 56% from behind the arc. And today, and they only shoot 19% from the behind the arc on the season. So Georgetown defensively needs to shore up their three-point defense and get back in this game in the second half of play. Back with more on the Tigers Sports Network. Both teams coming back out on the floor. Cumberland just came out a little bit earlier than Georgetown. Georgetown, to be a fly on the wall in the Georgetown locker room here at halftime. Tigers really needing a spark from somebody as they trail here at halftime by a score of 41-27 to Cumberland. Cumberland comes in with a record of 13-12 on the season. They were 9-10 coming into today's conference action, and really just have outplayed the Tigers from the start. They got the first basket of the game. Georgetown took a brief 3-2 lead, and then from that point on, it has been all Cumberland. They led us by as many as 16. They currently lead by 14 here at the break. Actually, they said they led us by as many as 15. That came with 3:13 left in the first half. Georgetown's only lead came with the 18:52 mark of the opening 20 minutes. I look down now, I see Steve Scarman just got here a little bit later than anticipated, but that's okay. He was part of one of those teams that was recognized here at halftime. Looking at the scoring, it is Ty Bird leading all scorers with 14 points in the first half, 9 for Negron, 8 for Tyreek Johnson, and then 4 points for Isaac Stevens and Nasir Coleman, and 2 points for Travius Vaughn. For Georgetown, Cam Brooks Harris leads Georgetown in scoring with 9, 7 for Tay Dozier, 5 for Rashad Bishop, 3 for Drew Lamont, and 3 for Jake Omer. Jacquay Wells, Seth Johnson, and Jabrion Spikes all play, as well as Tommy Thomas, all played in the first half and failed to score. Georgetown's got to get somebody to make an outside shot because Cumberland is going to back that thing in and protect the lane if the Tigers can't make an outside shot, or at least one. Got to knock down some outside jumpers to get it going, and that will set up Georgetown's defense. Cumberland has had no issue in the half court of getting shots off against Georgetown's defense. Got to see if they can turn over the Phoenix and turn that into points. But they got to just chip away. Georgetown got within one at 14-13, and from that point on, the Phoenix outscored Georgetown 27-14 to close out the half. So the Tigers looking to get their 16th victory in the conference against 4 losses, and their 22nd victory overall. So the Tigers will look at the Phoenix offense to start the second half, as Cumberland will have possession to start the second half. Tigers in a 14-point hole. They trailed by as many as 15 in that first half. And the Tigers turned it over 7 times in the first half. How about this? Cumberland with no turnovers. They had 5 steals. Georgetown had no steals at all in the first half. There were no ties, 2 lead changes. And Georgetown went 2 minutes and 29 seconds without a field goal in that first half. It'll be Negron, Bird, Isaac Johnson, Isaac Stevens, Tariq Johnson, and Jordan Stevens. Here's a 16-footer, good for Negron over Omer. And I tell you what, they start out just like they did in this first half, knocking down a shot, and they're down 16 are the Tigers. Wells around to Harris. Brooks Harris gives to Omer. Omer to Dozier. Left corner now to Brooks Harris. 10 to shoot as Brooks Harris works on Johnson in the lane. Can't get his shot off. Here's Bishop with 5. Bishop turns on Stevens, puts it up over Stevens, got it. Bishop with 7. 43-29, but again, this is where it starts right here. Georgetown's got to get a stop, get some easy baskets in transition, and a foul on Cam Brooks Harris as Stevens hits the deck away from the ball. That's the second on CBH. The first on the Tigers here in the second half. They inbound to Negron to Bird. Wells right in his face. Bird over Wells, glass, no good. Harris had the rebound, and he got hit by Stevens. And that'll be number 2 on Stevens. The first on the Phoenix. As Wells, I think, took a shoulder in the chops. Having trouble getting his focus. And here come the Tigers looking to cut this 14-point lead down. 43-29, Tigers trail here. Wells. They'll get a hold on Negron. Away from the ball. His second. Cumberland's second foul here in the second half. Wells fakes the inbound to Lamont. And here come the Tigers with 20 to shoot. Dozier working on Bird. Here's Omer. Gets around Johnson, put it up, no good, and a foul on Tariq Johnson. Looks like the Tigers have made a concerted effort. That's 3 on Tariq by my count. It is. Pleading his case. Looked like he reached in and slapped, and Omer beat the line for 2. Omer with 3 only in the first half. Real quiet first half for Jake. He hits the first free throw, makes it 4 now. And it's 43-30. Tigers creep within 13. Johnson will go to the bench as Coleman comes in to replace him. And Omer's second free throw is also perfect. He has 5 now. 43-31. Tigers down 12. This is Coleman. To Jordan Stevens, and wow, I didn't see that one. They're going to call Jordan Stevens for the foul. That's his third. He becomes the third Phoenix player with 3 fouls. That's the 4th foul already on the Phoenix here in the second half. Here's a drive by Dozier, laid it in, it's down to 10. Tay now with 9. 43-33. They give it to Stevens. Back to Coleman. He's going to lob to Bird for the dunk. You can't allow, once you have a guy double team, to split the double team. He did. 45-33. Cumberland. Lamont got in the way of the screen. He was trying to slip it, it looked like, for Dozier. They give it off to Omer. Omer working on Coleman. Almost hit the deck. Gives it back to Wales. Wales to Dozier. Dozier has it knocked away by Stevens. This is Isaac Stevens. Left-hand dunk. And it's 6 now for Isaac. And just like that, that 11-point or that 10-point lead back out to 14. 47-33. Jacquet tried to shovel it to Dozier in a 5-foot area. Too many hands in there. This is Lamont. Boy, Negron got by with a hold. Here's Bishop working on Stevens. Stevens got the strength advantage, but Dozier can, Bishop can go up over him anytime he wants. Dozier with the putback. Give him 11 now. 47-35. Tigers still down 12. They need a spurt to get this thing down. Here's Coleman. Back to Negron. Negron can't get free of Omer. In the right corner to Coleman now. Coleman working on Lamont. Now out to Bird. Bird pulls up. Lets it fly. No good. Ball almost lost into the hands of Coleman, but Bishop grabs it, and here come the Tigers with a chance to get a little closer. Here goes Bishop. Off the glass. Off. Good. Heard an and one, and I really thought he did get bumped. But no call. We play through. Down to 10 again. 4 minutes into the second half. Tigers looking to get back in this thing. Here's Negron. It's a screen from Coleman, but they slip it. Here's Coleman, right of the circle. Now to Jordan Stevens, who penetrates over Dozier. Can't get his shot off. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Stevens to Coleman for 15. Yes. They have done it twice. As the shot clock getting down under 3, they've hit a jump shot, and it's 49-37. Tigers much more aggressive on the defensive end. But right now, Cumberland still hitting shots. And the Tigers find themselves down by a dozen again, 49-37. We'll keep it right here. Tigers really lethargic in the first half defensively. But the whole thing was they really just couldn't hit some shots either offensively. Got themselves in this hole, and now they're trying to dig their way out. Tigers trail by 12, 49-37 with 15:39 to play. That timeout was called by the Phoenix. And they got Tyreek Johnson back in, and we get a whistle and a foul, a hold. And that is on Negron, and that is his third. And that's the fifth on Cumberland. So Georgetown will be quickly getting here in the bonus, a couple more fouls. Here come the Tigers into front court, needing another basket here. Omer with a basketball. Now to Wales on the left side. Gives it down on the baseline to Lamont. Here's a 19-footer, no good. Back rim by, and it goes off of Lamont. Said it hit a Georgetown College player on the baseline. About halfway through down in Columbia in the first half, it's Shawnee State 19-16 trailing Lindsey Wilson in Mid-South Conference action. And Negron is going to be a hold on Omer. And I tell you what, Negron got an elbow up in the face of Omer. That could have been a huge foul on Negron. That's Omer's third. Bird will inbounds to Negron. Gives it here to Tariq Johnson. You got Negron with three, Johnson with three on the floor for Cumberland. They lead by 12 right now with 15 minutes to play. But Jeremy Lewis, a big risk. Here's Jordan Stevens to Isaac Stevens. Blocked from behind, partially by Wells. Wells comes back, picks up here in the near corner, gives to Dozier. Here come the Tigers with a chance to cut it even further down. Dozier working on Stevens. Spins baseline, throws a bad pass, intercepted by Johnson. He calls timeout. Tough pass going from the short corner on the baseline all the way to the left side in the corner, and it's a full timeout. The Phoenix will take a full timeout. We'll take it with them on the Tigers Sports Network. Back here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, Georgetown trying to get out of this double-digit hole they dug themselves in the first half. They trail by 12, 49-37, 14:38 to go. Still a long way to go, but Georgetown can ill afford to make ill-advised turnovers, especially like the one they did a moment ago before the timeout from Cumberland. Got a pass trying to travel 50 or so feet from one side of the baseline to the other, and it just makes it for a tough get. 11 and a half minutes to play down in Campbellsville in the men's action. It's Campbellsville 53, U-Pike 41. Only scores reported so far. Here come the Phoenix. Negron with the basketball. They're going to be double teamed out near the timeline. To Bird. Now to Johnson. 18-footer out of the right corner. Good. Boy, I tell you what. For a team that only shoots 30% from the floor, they have found the confines of Davis Reed Alumni Gym quite friendly. Wells, 3 straight away. No. Rebounded by Johnson. Get that shot anytime in the shot clock. Here's Johnson. Back out to Negron. It is a 14-point Cumberland lead. Straight away to Isaac Stevens. And a charge. That's 3 now on Isaac Stevens. He becomes the 4th Cumberland ball player with 4. He joins Tariq Johnson, Jalen Negron, and Taj Fraley, who picked up those 3 in the first half. Here's Dozier to Lamont. Lamont, cross court to Omer. Omer drives in on Johnson, no good. A lot of contact, but we play on. They go to to Jordan Stevens for the dunk, and I tell you what, they are absolutely beating Georgetown at their own game. As you saw, that was a 2-on-1 fast break, and nobody in a white jersey got behind or got past midcourt. We're going to get Tommy Thomas, Seth Johnson, and Cam Brooks Harris into the lineup for Georgetown. And Georgetown got to do something as they trail by 16 with 13:25 to go in the ball game. And this is one of those games that you look and you kind of scratch your head, because Georgetown has a tough place to go next week when they go down on Thursday night to Campbellsville. Tigers struggled here against Campbellsville earlier this year. It's one of those games that you look and you see the shots that Georgetown's getting. The problem is they are unable to finish. And it just makes you wonder if they thought they could come in here and just waltz through this game this afternoon. I don't believe that is the case, but just watching them play right now. It'll be Dozier, Thomas, Bishop, Brooks Harris, and Johnson for the Tigers. Dozier straight away, here to Johnson. The defensive, boy, I tell you, this is what Jeremy Lewis teams are known for, is that man-to-man half-court defense. Bishop, and another charge. I made a comment in the women's game that we had a bunch of charges. I bet we've had 10 charges called in this game between the Cumberland and Georgetown men. This is Negron, and they have a 16-point lead. The basketball with about 12 minutes to go. Johnson with the basketball. Goes to Stevens, now to Isaac Stevens. Now here's Jordan Stevens. Gets a screen. Down the lane goes Jordan. Pumps up. And it's an 18-point Phoenix lead. And they are getting wherever they want in the lane on Georgetown right now. Dozier down the lane. Count it. And a foul. 13 now for Tay. And Tyreek Johnson becomes the first player with 4 fouls. And again, that's one of those where he went to the, and Johnson goes to the bench with 4 as Coleman comes in, replacing Johnson. And at the line will be Tay Dozier to complete the three-point play. He has 13 tonight. Make it 14 as he completes the three-point play, and it's 55-40. Coleman brings it across the timeline, gives it to Negron, guarded by Dozier. This is a little more. Here's a steal by Thomas. Ahead to Dozier. Dozier penetrates, gets it to Thomas in the corner. Coleman closes out on him. Here, Thomas with the right-hand floater. Good. Thomas with his first two, and it's down to 13. I tell you what, I give Negron an acting award. The Grammys were last weekend, and I'll give Negron a Grammy award. Threw his head back, and the official bought it. Timeout on the floor, immediate timeout with 11:49 to play. Back with more on the Tiger Sports Network. Back at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, Georgetown's got the lead back down to 13 for Cumberland. And I tell you what, I don't know what the major is for Jalen Negron, but he needs to, if it's not, and they don't offer theater down at Cumberland, he needs to go somewhere and get a theater degree. Threw his head back, and the official bought it like he'd gotten hit. Foul was on Tay Dozier. For Tay, that's his second. And that's a tough call. Now, as an official, you see the head go back, you think he might have gotten hit, but tough. And I tell you what, Seth Curry is, for all the great he's done as a basketball player, I call that the Seth Curry move. He perfected that. Negron will bring it across the timeline. Dozier waiting on him. Straight away now to Jordan Stevens. Jordan goes over. Thomas swatted out of there by Rashad Bishop, who can absolutely elevate. 16 to shoot. Phoenix will have it left baseline. Into Coleman. Coleman will spin. Can't get it shot. Back to Jordan Stevens. 10 to shoot. Down the lane he goes. Here comes Bishop again, and he swats it again into the hands of Bird. 3 to shoot. And Bird just turns and glares at the crowd. But I tell you what, there's nothing else Thomas could do. He was standing right there. 19 for Bird, 11 above his average. They try to get it inside, and the lead back out to 16. Tell you what, Bird has played the entire game, not come out. And if a guy's in the zone like he is right now, you have to go right at him defensively, make him play defenses. Johnson does that, but can't get through. Thomas loses it, gets it back, comes out on the dribble. 10 to shoot now for Georgetown. It's a CBH, 6 to shoot. He'll pull up 3 over Stevens. Short. Bishop kept it alive. They lob it up to him. He'll tip it in. Might have gotten a little nudge for Coleman. But Bishop able to guide it in. He has 11 now. 58-44. Tigers down 14. This is Coleman to Stevens. Back to Negron. Negron hesitates. Gets up in the air. Now to Stevens in the corner for 3. Got it. I tell you what, this team, I don't know how they're shooting 18.5% from behind the arc because they are burning the Georgetown College nets. Stevens now with 7, and it's back up to 17. Here's Bishop on Stevens. Missed the shot. And that is Jordan Stevens' 4th by my count. He'll become the 2nd Phoenix with 4. Now, for all the good they've done, they are in foul trouble. Georgetown will shoot the double bonus. And a couple of fouls as Bishop misses the first. And you got to hit free throws if you're Georgetown with the clock stopped. That helps you get back in the game without losing time. 17-point Phoenix lead. Bishop's free throw is good. He now has 12. As we get Wells and Lamont in, Wells will replace Dozier, and Bishop will go to the bench replaced by Lamont. They go to Negron. And Negron will get around Wells, now to Coleman, who will back it out to Negron. Negron can't use the screen from Stevens. Now to Coleman. Here's Fraley to Bird. 8 to shoot. Bird going to work on Johnson. Pulls up 3. Boy, I tell you what, I don't know what Tyler Boyd had, but from pregame meal, but he might want to have it every week. Here's Cam Brooks Harris for 3. He's got 12. Bird has 22. 14 points above his average. Negron into front court. Splits the double team. Almost traveled with it. Gets it back. 14 to shoot now. Georgetown under 9 to play. Trailing by 16. Here's Fraley. To Bird. Oh, man. Coleman just stuck a knee out and got Johnson. And Tyler Bird is unconscious. His 5th 3 of the day. 25 for the redshirt senior. 67-48. Georgetown down 19. They give a go and a foul on Coleman. Second on Coleman. Tell you what, Coleman, with the official looking right at him, may have gotten away, and Bird still yapping. A 19-point Cumberland lead. And I'm telling you what, they have shot lights out. As Cam Brooks Harris misses the free throw. Boy, I tell you, Georgetown's going to look at a lot of things on this film. And not be, of course, Chris Briggs may burn the film. Here's Fraley. In the circle to Coleman. Works on Lamont. Back now to Fraley. Fraley with 5 to shoot. Negron working on Johnson. Pulls up from 16. Back rim, no. And the ball will stay here with Cumberland. I tell you what, when Georgetown even forces a tough shot, Cumberland catches a break. Georgetown really looking for answers right now. Here's Isaac Stevens. Gives to Negron. Johnson on him. Now to Bird. Bird guarded by Wales. He drives, puts it up, and a blocking foul and a basket. Georgetown has had no answer for Tyler Bird. Tyler Bird. He has been absolutely the reason why Cumberland has built this lead, and now they lead by 21. Are you serious? Nobody would have thought that. 69-48. Tigers trail by 21 at home. Bishop and Omer come in, replacing Johnson and Brooks Harris. 13 right now in the second half for Bird, and he'll look to get his 28th point. Tigers with no answer for this guy at the line. About the only thing he's done wrong today is miss a free throw. He is 0 for 2 from the line. Here's Wales to Omer. Guarded by Fraley. Here's Lamont. Georgetown needs a bucket in the worst kind of way right now. Lamont to Thomas. 3 on the way. Right side, too strong. Rebounded by Bird, who gives it off to Negron in the Cumberland. Up 21, 69-48. Wow. And they have probably shot 60% from behind the arc here in the second half after shooting 56 in the first half. Fraley back out to Coleman. Now to Bird. Step back on Wales. Nothing doing. But a good rebound by Isaac Stevens. And Georgetown just right now being beaten to every 50-50 ball. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Negron to Coleman. Pulls up, 17-footer. Yes. And the lead grows to 23. 10 for Negron, or for Coleman. Thomas throws it away. Georgetown. Cumberland inbounds it. Negron will bring it across, and we go under 6.5 to play. Negron to Fraley, who directs traffic. Back to Negron. He gets a screen from Stevens. Now to Coleman. And they try to get down low to Stevens, and they threw it away. Timeout on the floor. 5:57 to play. Georgetown in a huge hole. It has been one of those afternoons for Georgetown College. Can't find the bottom of the basket on their end. And then the other problem is they cannot contain Tyler Bird, who has 27 points, 13 of them here in the second half. He had 14 at halftime. He has 5 3-pointers this afternoon for the Phoenix. And it has been it has been a Phoenix type of day here in Georgetown. They haven't enjoyed them much here in this building, but they are enjoying themselves this afternoon. So the Tigers need to get a little bit here. It'll be Lamont, Wells, Omer, Dozier, and Bishop for Georgetown. Here comes Wells across the timeline in a hurry to Lamont. Here on the near side to Omer. Omer down the lane, laid it up left hand, good. 7 now for Omer. 71-50. Tigers trail by 20, but they need a bunch. Here comes Fraley, who comes into the front court. And this is more what I'm accustomed to seeing from Cumberland under Jeremy Lewis. They get the lead, they will run offense and play the shot clock and get a shot that they want. He's got more athletes than he's ever had. Here's Negron. They're down to 5 on the shot clock. Stevens drives baseline, cut off, intercepted by Dozier. Here comes the Tigers. Omer back to Dozier. Dozier floater, no good. Tipped up and in by Wells. First 2 of the night for Wells. 71-52, less than 5 to go. Here's Negron. Ahead to Stevens. Stevens penetrates, gives it down to Isaac Stevens. Blocked from behind by Lamont. But a foul coming up on the 6'8 senior. It will get Isaac Stevens at the line for 2 shots. Stevens is a 68% foul shooter, and the first one rims in and out. 71-52. Georgetown down 19 with 4:45 to play. The second shot way off. Coleman reached around. Bishop kept it up. They get it down to Bishop for the lay-in. And a quick timeout for Jeremy Lewis with 4:37 to play. 71-54. Tigers down 17. Might be a little too late for the Tigers. They trail by 17 right now. And we'll see what happens here in the second half. Tigers have gave up 41 points in the first half, 30 so far here in the second half. Tigers have been outscored here in the second half, 30-27. So a 17-point advantage for Cumberland, but Georgetown has to take advantage of every opportunity to grab a loose ball, a 50-50 ball. They got to get a turnover, and then they got to convert from here on out to even get remotely close to having a prayer in this game. Because they trail by 17 with 4:37 to play in the ballgame. Georgetown has just been listed. In fact, they've not shot well, but they have been out-hustled to every 50-50 ball pretty much the entire afternoon. Now, that being said, Cumberland has hit some tough shots, too. I can count 5 or 6 times that Georgetown has been defensively solid and forced the Phoenix to take a contested shot at the shot clock buzzer, and they get it into Bird. He loses it off his hands. Back to Wells. Wells to Lamont in the corner. Omer, 3 on the way. No. Wells with the rebound, and he'll circle back out. Back to Omer in the corner. Omer floats. Almost got caught in between to Dozier. Drops it down to Bishop. Hands all over the place. Knocked out of bounds. Goes back to Georgetown with 4:17 to play. If Omer can knock that 3 down, it's down to 14. And now you put a little heat on the Phoenix. Wells inbounds to Dozier. Dozier drives baseline back to Lamont for 3. Looks left, is left. Bishop claims the rebound, and a foul coming up on Coleman for Cumberland. The third on Nasir Coleman. And at the line will be Rashad Bishop, and I believe it'll be a 2-shot double bonus foul. And at the line will be Rashad Bishop, averaging 8.2 a game. He has 14 this afternoon. The first free throw from Bishop is good. Give him 15. Tyreek Johnson comes in, replacing Isaac Stevens. And they go a little bit smaller. Do the Phoenix. Give him one more ball handler. Gets his Georgetown pressure. Second one also good from Bishop. Gives him 16 this afternoon. It's a 15-point lead with 4 minutes to play. Dozier just strips Johnson. Here's Lamont, 3 out of the right corner. Big one, got it. 6 for Johnson. It's down to 12 with 4 to play. Negron quickly into front court. He'll back it out. Omer there with him. They got it down to 12 now. 71-59. Tigers, if they can get a turnover here and get a bucket, that puts a little bit more heat on Cumberland. 3.5 to go, and a whistle and a foul on Negron. Stuck his butt out just as Dozier went around him. And that is 4 on Negron. And that could be huge because if you go at him and he draws a fifth, that's their point guard. He's done 90% of the ball handling to get him in the offense. 3:35 to play. Georgetown down 12. They need another basket here. Wells with it to Lamont. Threes. He pops left. Too strong. And Bishop looked like he was held. They're going to say it's going to Cumberland. I thought it was tipped too by Bird, but we got some tired players from Cumberland on the floor right now. They get it into Bird. He turns ahead to Negron. Negron back out towards the timeline. Under 3:15 to play. Tigers down 12. Coleman hollering at Negron. Negron penetrates. Right corner. Cuts his dribble. Gives to Bird. Bird guarded by Wells. 5 to shoot. Bird step back 3. Banked it in. And when it's your day, it is your day. Tyler Bird. That is 6 of them behind the arc. 74-59. That may be in the dagger for Georgetown. Here's Omer. 3 on the way. Got it. 10 for Omer. 74-62. 2:33 to play. Cumberland has had the answer, and it has been in the form of Tyler Bird. Every time Georgetown started to run, 23 in black has stepped up for the Phoenix and Coach Jeremy Lewis. And the thing is, Wells did everything he could. He was in his face, had his hand up. Bird even just banked that one in. .30 for Tyler Bird this afternoon. 30 of the 74 for his ball club today. He has scored 16 of the second half. He has scored almost as many points in the second half for his ball club than the rest of the team. They have combined for 17. He's got 16 of their 33 points here in the second half. He has hit 4 3-pointers here in the second half, 6 of them. 18 for Tyler Bird. He would have 32 had he hit his free throws. He's missed 2 free throws this afternoon. And it's 74-62. Georgetown down 12 with 2:33 to play. If you're Cumberland, you got to hit free throws because I think Georgetown's going to try to send you to the line as much as possible here. Cumberland is a 64% foul shooting team. Today, they have only taken 4 free throws, and they have missed them all. 5 free throws. They're all 5. Here's Stevens. Around to Coleman. Back to Negron. Negron with the basketball. Negron is a 75% foul shooter. He has Bishop on him now. They're going to go down to 10 under the shot clock. Negron working on Bishop. Puts it up. Bishop got a piece of it. Here comes Dozier, headed the other direction for Georgetown. Cross court, Omer, 3 on the way. He got hit on the leg as Bird went by him, and that thing could have been a 4-point play, and if that goes, we'd be down to 8 with 2 minutes exactly to play. That's the first on Tyler Bird, and Jake Omer will be at the line for 3 throws. Tell you what, that came close to being a 4-point play, and Omer hits the first free throw. 11 now for Omer. Been had a quiet night this afternoon. 74-63. He hits the second, 74-64. He can get it under double digits here with 2 to play. Omer drills the third. 74-65. Tiger, here's a steal by Omer. He fallen out of bounds. He threw it and hit Coleman in the hands. And I thought he got pushed too, but they're going to call a foul on CBH. That's the third on Brooks Harris. Omer got a steal, was falling out of bounds. Coach Chris Briggs is asking the official, didn't he get pushed? May have been some contact. Can't tell from here. As Stevens will come in replacing who for, he'll replace Jordan Stevens. And at the line will be Nasir Coleman. And Coleman, a 57% foul shooter. He hits the first. He'll draw the bonus. 11 now for Nasir Coleman. It's a 10-point Phoenix lead. Second shot from Coleman. Boy, I tell you what, they have done no wrong here in Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Brooks Harris to Omer. Omer, floater, too strong. Rebound, it comes in the hands of Bishop to CBH. Now to Wales. Good job by Cumberland covering the three. Here's Omer. He'll force one, and it goes. "13 in the second half. It's down to 8 with 1:35 to play. Georgetown has kept their slim hopes alive, trailing by 8. They trailed by 21 about 2 minutes ago. Now they're down to 8. And the Tigers are going to shoot a lot of foul shots for the Phoenix on the other end here in just a moment, because Tigers are going to go for a steal. If they don't get it, they're going to send Cumberland to the foul line. So the Phoenix are going to have to hit free throws. If you look, Coleman's a 57% foul shooter. So is Tariq Johnson. Negron is a 75% foul shooter. Who else do they have on the floor? They have Bird. He is a 71% foul shooter. And Isaac Stevens is a 57% foul shooter. So the worst on the floor will probably be nowhere near the basketball. That will be Isaac Stevens. He will be all the way at the other end, or maybe taking the ball out. Depends on what Coach Jeremy Lewis decides. Your other two candidates will be Nasir Coleman and Tariq Johnson. Those will be the two. And Johnson nowhere on the floor here right now. So it's Jordan Stevens, Isaac Stevens, Negron, Coleman, and Bird. You don't want to foul Negron. He is a 75% foul shooter. Bird is a 71% foul shooter. So the one guy you may want, as they try to get it into Negron, they get it into Isaac Stevens. That's the guy you wanted. Now to Coleman. He's a 57% foul shooter. And a near turnover. And it's 5 seconds left on the shot clock. So 5 seconds to cross the timeline for Cumberland. Tommy Thomas comes in replacing CBH. You're going to get him out with those 3 fouls. We want to keep him as an offense-defensive thing. Looks like Omer is up lame a little bit. And now Coleman will inbound with Thomas pressuring. Everybody playing man-to-man. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Here's a steal by Omer. Laid it up, got it. Down to 6, a 2-possession game. Stevens with it. Headed the other direction, he loses it. Thomas has it, headed the other direction. Here's Dozier to the lane, laid it up, count it, and a foul. Are you serious? 76-72, Georgetown within 1. And that's the 4th foul on Coleman. And at the line will be Tay Dozier for 1 shot. And the Tigers can make it a 1-possession game with 1:12 left. Dozier hits the free throw. It's a 1-possession game. Coleman inbounding. In trouble. Gets it to Bird. Bird double team. Now to Negron. Negron works it into front court to Coleman. Now to Bird. In the corner to Stevens. I think I'd foul Stevens and let him shoot the basketball from the line. Here's Negron. 53 seconds left on the game clock. 10 on the shot clock. Negron to Bird. Bird around Wales. Missed the shot. Charging foul on Tyler Bird. And Georgetown, believe it or not, has a chance to tie. Unbelievable. The second foul on Bird. 44.2 to play. And Georgetown with a chance to tie with a triple. Unbelievable. They trailed by 21, I think. The shot clock has malfunctioned on the other end there. Georgetown with the basketball, trailing by 3. And about 3.5 minutes ago, they trailed by 21. Wow. Unbelievable. And Georgetown will have the basketball. They have to come the full length of the court, and I wouldn't be surprised to have Jeremy Lewis and the Phoenix apply a little full court pressure. Unbelievable. A lot of fans have given Georgetown up for dead here in this one, yours truly included. And they trailed big and now have a chance to tie with a triple. And you're going to have three-point shooters on the floor. Omer, Brooks Harris, and Dozier. Tigers game here. They give it into Wells, and he'll bring it up on the dribble against Negron. Negron. They give it to Omer, guarded by Tariq Johnson. Omer around Johnson, hangs, and a foul on Nasir Coleman. Sorry about that. And Coleman is done. He becomes the first Phoenix to foul out, and now Jake Omer will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. Coleman fouls out with 12. 29.7 seconds to play. The shot clock will be off. And now Omer for 2. He has 16. First free throw is good. It's down to a single 2-point bucket. He can cut it to 1 with 29.7 to play. And he does. Timeout, Georgetown. 29.7 to play, and Georgetown has cut the lead to 1. 76-75. Tigers showed a lot of gumption. And if you left Davis Reed Alumni Gym, I don't blame you when Georgetown was down 21. Can't blame you for leaving. But if you joined us here online to find out what the final score was going to be, now you don't have to worry. Well, you do. Tigers down 1 with 29.7 to play, but who'd have thunk it? And the Phoenix have to inbounds and go the full length of the court against Georgetown College pressure. Georgetown, a furious rally to trail by a single point with a little under 30 seconds to play. Man, I've seen some improbable comebacks in my career. This one would be right there at the top somewhere. Stevens will inbound. It's Isaac Stevens. Still looking, and a foul away from the ball, and it's an offensive foul on the groan, or is that Jordan Stevens? Let's see. It is on Jordan Stevens, and he's done. Jordan Stevens becomes the second Phoenix to foul out. And now Fraley comes in, and you see some very frustrated Cumberland University players. And I'm telling you what, folks, Tyler Bird well, the ball never came in, so they're going to put the ball in play in front of the Georgetown bench. I don't understand that. They give it into Bishop. Georgetown looking for their first lead, and it's Omer. Nope, down to Bishop in the short corner, working on Stevens. Jump hook, good! And Rashad Bishop has given Georgetown the lead. Here's Negron into front court. And timeout, Jeremy Lewis and Cumberland University. The Tigers have taken a 77-76 lead. With 12.9 to play. Coach Lewis arguing with the officials. I don't know why. It doesn't matter if he calls timeout. The official doesn't see it. The clock's not stopped. He's still upset. Both coaches for the Cumberland Phoenix with two different officials. Unreal. Possession belongs to the Tigers. Georgetown's in the double bonus as far as they will shoot 2 free throws. Cumberland will shoot a 1+1 if Georgetown commits a foul. Wow. Unbelievable. 18 for Rashad Bishop tonight. $18 for Jake Omer. Omer has 15 in the second half. 10 in the second half for Tay Dozier. Only 5 Tigers have scored tonight. I'm sorry. 7 Tigers have scored, but Wells and Thomas only with 2 each. But now Cumberland will inbound with Isaac Stevens. Triggering in just to the left of Jeremy Lewis. Rashad Bishop will pressure the basketball. Omer has Negron. Stevens inbounds. He's got to spend the final timeout of the ball game. And again, Cumberland going crazy as Omer and Negron got tied up. And I think they just officially got a bench warning, did Cumberland. Timeout, Phoenix. That's the final timeout for the Phoenix. Didn't see what happened, but Negron and Omer were in the area. Negron hit the scorer's table on the far side, just to the left of the Cumberland bench. The boy, Stevens had trouble getting the basketball in. If Georgetown is able to hold on here, it will be the most improbable win I think I've seen in the years of covering Georgetown college basketball. But we still have 12.9 seconds to play. Georgetown College, an improbable 1-point lead with 12.9 to play. The basketball will be inbounded from the same location it was a moment ago, to the left of the Cumberland bench. Phoenix are out of timeouts. Into the ball game for Cumberland is Mitrevius Vaughn, a redshirt sophomore, 5 in black. As Bird gets it in to Tyreek Johnson. Johnson penetrating on Thomas. Oh my. A tough call on Thomas. They're going to call the foul, but I tell you what, Tyreek Johnson was already going down. Tough call, but oh my. Good defense, I thought, by Thomas. Tyreek Johnson pulled up, lost his footing as he was going down. He had his shot blocked by Thomas. And now the Phoenix have a chance to take the lead, but a 57% foul shooter, and Tyreek Johnson at the line. He's not been there today. He misses the first. Now, if you're Georgetown, you have to rebound the basketball. If Johnson misses this one. Johnson with the second one. He's got it. We're tied at 77. Tigers can play for the final shot. Omer working, turning, puts it up. Kill it! And the ball game is over. Jake Omer with a 3 as the buzzer sounds. Unbelievable. Tigers. Whoo, my goodness gracious. An improbable comeback for the Georgetown College men's basketball team. They move to, oh my, I am speechless. Speechless. Georgetown moves to 22-4 on the year, 16-4 in the, or make it 17-4 on the conference season now, or 16-4. I'm right. And they will head to Campbellsville next Friday night or Thursday night for a date with the Campbellsville Tigers here on the home stretch of the 2022-23 season. Unbelievable. The basket by Jake Omer. Unbelievable. It is an absolute shocker. Cumberland had outplayed the Tigers pretty much for about 19 minutes, or actually 17 minutes. And then all of a sudden, Georgetown caught fire and then awoke. And an unbelievable come-from-behind victory for Georgetown here this afternoon. We'll probably have a couple of people. We'll definitely have Chris Briggs up here. We'll probably have, along with Chris Briggs, we'll also have probably Jake Omer on the Tiger Sports Network. Back here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym on the campus of Georgetown College, where the most improbable comeback we witnessed here on the Georgetown College gymnasium floor. Tigers trailed by 23 with less than 7 minutes to play. And they were able to make a huge run over the final 5 minutes or so. Got it to within single digits, and then Cumberland missed a couple of free throws, had some turnovers, missed a couple of shots. Georgetown able to convert on the other end. And then Jake Omer, as the clock expired, hit the game winner from about 17 feet as he was going down. And the Tigers go home victorious this afternoon by a final score of 79-77. Waiting on a couple of guests here to come up with us. Of course, we'll have Tiger head coach Chris Briggs join us here above the floor here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Waiting on those guys to come up. Jason is down in the locker room area trying to get him up here to join us on the network after the game here in just a moment. Georgetown College pulls off the unthinkable as they come back from 23 down with less than 7 to win the ball game tonight, minus Kyron Jones. But the Tigers force only 7 turnovers from Cumberland, but 7 of them, all of them, came in the second half. They did not turn the ball over in the first half. Tell you what, I think Georgetown's team is going to have some nightmares of Tyler Bird. He had 30 tonight, 22 above his average. He had 6 threes, and all of them were contested threes. So we'll take a look at that. Georgetown really fortunate to come back and win this ball game, but we'll take it. Tigers win it. We'll be back with hopefully some people here in just a moment. Back here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, and the hero of today's game for the Tigers of Georgetown. I tell you what, Jake, first and foremost, congratulations on the big win, number one. Number two, though, at halftime, you
got together, we talked, and we knew we weren't running the floor like we usually do. And we know we need a big game at home for the tournament, so we just got back together and fought through it, and we knew we had to get this win. It was a big one.
I'll tell you what, y'all had to overcome a huge effort from a guy averaging 8 points a game coming in. Tyler Bird had 30 today.
Yeah, he went nuts.
And he hit about 4 or 5 shots as the shot clock running out. What was the mood in the huddle during timeouts? I know the move was probably let's chip away. But the run came, and it came in a huge way when it finally came.
Yeah, it was Coach telling us just to get up in there and to know that every team's coming in here and knowing that we got Georgetown across our chest, they're coming to get us. And they got a chip on their shoulder, and we know that, so we just got to play harder than them.
Well, you had 3 at halftime.
Yeah.
And I know just by looking on your face going to the locker room, you were like, it's not my game I played. 20 in the second half. You had, though, 9 in the last 60 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Pretty big ones.
I was just trying to let the game come to me, not force it as much. I've been doing a little worse lately, getting into the rim and trying to force stuff. So if I just let it come to me and hit my threes, I'm a lot better.
Let me correct myself. That's 11 in the last 60 seconds. You hit a couple of threes. You hit got 3 free throws, and then, of course, the game winner. I knew you weren't going to give that up. I could see on your face. You wanted to take that shot.
Yeah, I was hot. I had the hot hand, and they let me get it in. I knew I just had to get downhill or pull up and get a shot.
Well, congratulations on the big win. 23 tonight for Jake Omer, 11 in the last 60 seconds, though.
Yes, sir.
I don't think I scored 11 in 60 minutes.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Jake Omer with us here on the Tiger Network. We'll try to get Coach Chris Briggs up here if he comes upstairs on me. But, Jake, thank you. I appreciate it, buddy.
Appreciate you.
We'll see you next Saturday against Lindsey Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Jake Omer with us. I don't know if we're going to get Coach Chris Briggs up here. I don't see Jason, so I'm assuming Jason's down after him. Well, Georgetown, again, a miraculous comeback. Let's give you some of the numbers here. 4 players in double figures for the Phoenix of Cumberland, led by Tyler Burge, 30, 11 each for Tyreek Johnson and Jalen Negron. 10 points for Nasir Coleman. 7 points for Jordan Stevens. 6 for Isaac Stevens. And 2 points for my Travius Vaughn. Georgetown was led in scoring by Jake Omer, 23 points. They also had 4 players in double figures. 18 for Rashad Bishop. 17 for Tay Dozier. 12 for Cam Brooks Harris. We had 6 points for Drew Lamont and 2 points for Tommy Thomas. Spikes Johnson and Jaquay Wells play. They didn't give a credit to Wells on that field goal, so I had to figure out who they gave credit to that field goal for. I don't think we're going to get Chris Briggs up here. Well, Georgetown wins it 79-77 over the Phoenix of Cumberland University. A big win for Georgetown, coming from way down with 7 to go. They were down 23 with 7 to go. The Tigers come back and win it on a last-second shot by Jake Omer to win it 79-77 over Cumberland. Until next Saturday when we bring you Senior Day and the final regular season game of the 2022-23 basketball season here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, in the regular season at least, Tigers will host the Blue Raiders of Lindsey Wilson. Before that, though, if you want to go down, they'll play 5:30 and 8 o'clock or somewhere about down at Campbellsville on Thursday night. Back next Saturday, we'll